Alright guys, the Handyman here, and today we are going to replace a valve cover gasket for a Ford Focus. And this one is 2015. But I believe this gasket could be replaced from 2011 all the way up to 2018. I could be mistaken, but it's a long range where this gasket is basically compatible with all the other years of the Ford Focus. But here I'm showing you these screws. Basically it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 9 black screws on the surrounding. Got your plugins. I just took those plugins out the spark plugs. And one important thing that you do when you take out these spark plugs is line them up left to right. You don't want to mismatch the spark plugs. So you don't want to put 4 in 1 or 1 in 3 and yeah, just keep it 1, 2, 3, 4. If you got to, mark them down. Here's a sneaky screw back here. And just to get to that screw, I have to take this pipe connecting to this, I'm not sure what this is, man. I'm a handyman first, but hey, had to do this for somebody. So I just went ahead and did this as a favor and watched the YouTube video just like you guys are watching me today. But this is basically, you gotta take the pins off of this. It's 2 pins. And once you remove those 2 pins, you can slide that pipe right out. It gave me a lot of trouble. It's a tight spot, and it definitely whooped my behind. Alrighty, I got the pipe out of there. Took that pin out. It's still somewhat in there. Don't think I did it correctly. But hey, we got it out. One thing to make sure too, that nobody is opening any doors or pressing the brakes or anything while you have that pipe out, because it will release gas from that part right there. But always put your screws right here. The silver screws are the ones from the silver long ones are from the spark plugs. The black ones are the ones that actually hold the cover gasket down. And then you have smaller ones for those 2 plugins on the right side. And I already have them disconnected and taken out, but yeah. So once you get all the screws and all the plugins out, you basically stick a flathead under there, wiggle it around. You see it moving already. But what I like to do is grab with your offhand. Is just grab the valve gasket cover as you're kind of lifting it up, prying it off with the flathead. You don't want to put too much pressure, because that gasket, the cover for the gasket can actually break. So it's just plastic, so bend it, force it any type of way, it'll snap or break. But yeah, I forgot that middle plug-in that I just showed you guys right there. Plug into the spark plug, that middle plug-in, and those 2 to the right side. But now we're prying it little by little. Just gotta hit the perimeter, just slightly move it around with the flathead. That coolant box right there, I have to replace that as well right here, that where my hand is touching. That clear yellow looking thing right here. But that's for a separate video. Basically it has a coolant leak right there. And there is the oil that was actually leaking from the valve cover gasket. And there I'm showing you guys the leak from the coolant. Bubbling up when the car's on, but $20, $30 part, replace that. But again, I'll show you guys that in a separate video. For right now, we're changing out this gasket cover and trying to take this cover off. Those I'm about to show you guys to take off those gaskets off too, those ring gaskets for those right there on the side. And right there I'm just showing you guys that clean the dirt once you guys actually take the cover out off. Go ahead and clean it off. You don't want any debris getting into it. But yeah, here we go. About to start taking it off now. Everything's loose. I like to pick it up from the left side up first and kind of move the wires out the way. Forgot to take out the dipstick. Oopsies. Put that on top of this towel. But yeah, basically, I like to lift up the left side of the cover and then just kind of like slide it up to the left a little bit. That's it, baby. We got that thing out of there. Woo! That took a lot longer than 5 minutes in real time, but had to edit this because I didn't want to bore you guys to death. But you see some of the gasket remainings are still on there. You see some oil. We're gonna go ahead and take those remainings out, the gaskets, and then start cleaning off the sides, the perimeter, all that extra old oil. We don't need that in there. And to clean that, I'll use brake cleaner. Right there, I'm showing you guys the rigid side. The rigid side of that gasket goes into the cover. And that's just an overview, just to show you guys how it looks. And we're gonna go ahead and take off the rest of the gaskets. The gasket basically is 4 parts. The left part that I just took off, this middle rectangle part, and then this right one right here, and then the one that goes all around in the perimeter. Time to clean up everything. Again, I use brake cleaner. Get a rag, just wipe it off. And it's time to put in the new gasket. I like to start off right there as a reference point right there, that little dip. Has this little thing that comes off, I guess you call it a lip or something. Little lip that comes off from the valve gasket cover. Again, I like to use that part right there as a reference point. You'll see that lip right here that I'm talking about. It's an indentation right there, right there. You want to stick that lip right there and line it up right there, and then everything falls in place after that. Just line it up. Make sure you put that rigid side inside the indentions of the cover. Stick that in there. And it should fall right in place, everything. Should line up perfectly. And there we go. Just make sure you press it all the way in and it's in there nice and snug. Alright, and now we can continue on with the middle part. Middle gasket, line up as well. And these are not interchangeable, you gotta make sure it matches. And you'll be able to tell. Alright, and you could do both of these. You can start off with these first, which you probably should have did this first before I actually installed the cover gasket, the actual gasket in there. But what I like to do to take these 2 rings off is I'll grab a flathead and I put it right in between the gasket cover, the actual plastic, and the gasket right there. Right in between, and slam it with a hammer. Well, don't slam it because you could chip or break the plastic, but just be gentle with it. And once you actually got the ring in there, just, pat it a little bit with the hammer. Just make sure that thing's reinforced and then it's nice and flushed and snug. It was giving me some trouble, but we eventually ended up getting that thing in there, those 2 cover gaskets. But one thing I do recommend when you're actually putting the gasket back together, once you got everything in there, put some WD-40 so when you put it in there, it doesn't catch on with the engine and actually pop out when you're actually putting the cover gasket on there. Or the cover back on there. All right. And now that you got it in there, basically you just gotta start screwing everything back together. Put your screws all around. Put your plug-ins back in to your spark plugs. Just make sure that everything is flushed. You might have to beat it in with the hammer a little bit so you can get in there nice and flush, but once you got all the screws in there, you're good to go. Put your spark plugs in there, 1 through 4 in order. Put your screws, your plug-ins together. That's it. And these were the things I was talking about on the right side. The plug-ins. And there's 2 plug-ins on this end as well. So it's a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plug-ins. All right, just checking in, zooming in to make sure there's no leaks. Started up the car. You always want to check and double check for leaks. Hit the gas a couple times, but hey, looks good to me. No leak. So at the beginning of the video, that line that I took out with the clips, it ended up breaking. So I put a towel right there to wedge it, but it's good to go. It's not leaking. I just gotta order that clip. For right now, they're good to go. E-Handyman out.